today, Doc?
I am doing.
Just doing?
I'm ready to get in and
You
get
ready to
on
get in
with
it?
this. Get in with it.
I like it. I like when we connect, we get together, we just kind of dive into
That's it.
whatever conversation. It's almost like a therapy session for me.
It is.
Right?
It
and
is.
I really enjoy, the word therapy is, I'm going to stay away from that one. But today I want to talk about the need to shed friendships. I can see the look on your face. I can see the look on your face.
Where did you get that topic from?
Because I am in the shedding phase.
Oh, wow. You're in the shedding phase?
That's right.
Oh, is it like that?
It's like that. And I just thought shedding might be the most appropriate word.
Okay.
Because it's not, there's no negative or positive connotation to that word, if you ask me, at least from my perspective. But so I'll just jump right into it. I'll tell you a story. So there's friends that I've had in my life for over 10, 15, 20 years that, the idea behind those friendships is, these are people that are going to be part of my life for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. My kids are going to grow up together and things of that nature. But I guess life just has different plans, right? And I guess we just grow apart. And it's okay, though. For me, I think initially I had a more not a pleasant reaction to it, but then as time went on, it's like, oh man, I still have nothing but love for everyone that's been a part of my life.
That's good.
Just physically, we just can't be a part of each other's lives anymore. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, now let's get back to that. Let's go back to that. When you said physically, you just can't be a part of your lives anymore.
Proximity.
Okay, so proximity. So maybe that could mean, that you've moved away, you're over here in let's say Illinois, and they've moved over to some other place.
No communication.
No communication.
Two.
So no communication.
Both.
So
no communication, proximity.
So did something happen that communication stopped, or were you guys just like, okay, I'm saying you're talking friends, years, and then did this just slowly go to no to minimal, to minimal, to zzz?
Wow, okay.
How did it go?
What are you, psychic now?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
what
out.
you just described is exactly what happened. Was more of like the distancing. So, some people sometimes when they end friendships, it's this huge, like, oh no, we got into an argument, but that was never the case.
But you know what? When you have friends, you're not always going to agree. And so there should be some disagreement. You're not always going to agree.
Oh, yeah.
But just because you have a disagreement doesn't mean that your friendship should be, know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But we never had some of the friends I'm thinking about, we never really had a disagreement.
So never really a disagreement.
That's the thing. So,
Okay.
and I'll tell you initially when you start to feel that like the distancing happening, you start to question yourself a little bit, like, what did I do? What happened?
Yes.
What changed?
Yes.
But what I started to realize is I was growing in a completely different direction. So I think about it in the frame of, I hope I'm saying this right, a great friend of mine, really, really wise guy, he explores different ideas around like fractals, which is like the way he talked about it is he utilized trees and branches kind of growing. They're all kind of similar, but they grow in different directions. I'll keep it there because I'm not an expert. I don't want to try to take deep dives into something like that. But I think that's what happened because we were great friends. Like we're close. There was a high level of trust there. Nothing happened. It was just, communication dwindled.
Wow.
And that was it. It just died off that way. But the thing is, I really believe in frequencies, and I just believe his frequencies just maybe was at a different place, different level, and then mine kind of shifted to a different path in life, which is completely fine. And the thing is, I have nothing but love for all these people.
That's key.
You know what I mean? So there is no hate or anger. That's the thing.
I'm glad you said that because see, sometimes it's like when you lose when you're losing friendships, it's sometimes it's not so on the nice side,
Yeah.
okay, for whatever reason. But people can grow apart, meaning, while you were together at this time in your life, you maybe had more things in common, and just more things you both were in common with. But then as life goes on,
Yeah.
things change and
Absolutely.
evolve, and it's not that they're not your friend. They're your friend, but they're just not that friend they were before. Where before you would be talking to them every other
Yeah.
day.
There you go.
You would be maybe going places with them, or
Yeah.
they would just call in and check in. Hey, just want to say, hey, how you doing? Da, 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 da. And then all of a sudden that just dwindles down and
Yeah.
down. Now I have that example. That has happened to me because I have a friend here that I met when I moved into Texas, and we would go out to eat and do this and do that, and then it seems like our jobs, and my jobs, okay,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I don't even need to go there, but
Yeah.
anyway, I think it's probably part of my jobs because I'm always working,
Yeah.
and then we would go places, but then I noticed we would call and we would talk to each other at least almost every day or something, say just checking in, how you doing, and then finally it's just kind of like dwindled down, and then, the individual was going through a lot of um, changes and with employment and stress, and I just kind of contributed to maybe, that's why we didn't talk on that much. And I was like, well, what did I do?
I have the
That's
same
what I said to
reaction.
myself. What did I do?
That's the thing. So I love what you're saying. That's a great story. For me, I'm gonna be transparent about it. It
Hmm.
was difficult. It was hard to go through that because when you're close to someone and you trust someone at that
Hmm.
level, and then there's no like real rhyme or reason why you guys start to like separate.
Hmm.
It's tough. But what happened? And initially, I tried to maybe play the victim because I don't know, for some reason, I tend to default to like what did I do to them, or they're this, or they're a bad person, which
That's
is
what we
it's
do to
none of
ourselves.
that.
Though. We
Yeah,
do that to ourselves, though. When something isn't like you,
going your way.
yes, and you say, well, what did I do?
Yeah,
But it's not necessarily what
or
you had
they
done.
didn't do anything, and especially they didn't do anything either.
No.
So it's just that's the thing. But initially, it was more like, oh, they're this, they're that, like placing blame, playing the victim. For me, at least, I'm only speaking about my example
Uh-huh.
here. But then over time, you start to realize, no, like they were great friends. You know what I mean? They served their purpose. Just I can't try to paint them as bad people
Hmm.
because they're no longer in my life. That's not how the world works.
But I don't think you should paint them bad because, like you
Yeah.
said, there's
Well,
nothing
that's what
bad.
I initially did,
Yeah,
and
I
I
mean,
shifted
I
from
think
that.
the
Yeah.
human size comes into that, and you're like, well, what did I do that they don't talk to me anymore?
Yeah. But I shifted from that. And the thing is, the shift happened pretty quickly for me. It happened
Hmm.
fast because it was just like just looking at the facts. So I just kind of broke things down like what happened, nothing happened.
Hmm.
What was said, nothing was said. Uh, like they treated you right, yes. You treated them not right, yes. So eliminated all this idea because the world is filled with everyone saying this person's after me, this person envies me, that
Hmm.
person this, making up all these things that they're not fact based. They're just
Yeah,
emotions
that's true.
being thrown around. And I completely dissolved and went away from that. I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm not doing that. I'm not
Hmm.
going there to stop making up all these nonsensical ideas that are not fact based. You didn't have any conversation with this person. There was no, back and forth. There was no disagreement that occurred. So why would you make up all these ideas that are false to just because you guys are no longer friends? What are your thoughts?
I think that's probably a justification piece, trying to justify.
That's it.
You're trying to justify. Well, why did Susie or Mary? Why did they do that? Oh, this is why. This is why.
That's it. Yeah.
You're trying to justify what
To
happened.
make myself feel better, right?
Yes,
Yeah. That's
but
true. No, I agree.
again, people, you were friends at one time, And friends maybe becomes their different names, acquaintances and different names such as that.
Yeah.
But the thing is this, it's probably easier said than done. But some people can look at, well, we were good friends. We enjoyed this. We did this. We had this. You
Yeah.
know what? It was great for that season.
That's
Now,
it.
now I'm in another season.
That's
I'm in
that's
another
the
season.
refrain that occurred
Yeah.
for me was, yeah, like they served their purpose
Hmm.
for that season of my life. The season I'm in now, they can't serve the same purpose that they served back
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And I wish, the thing is, what I did was I really genuinely wished them nothing but success and the best
That's
in
good.
whatever endeavor, like openly, wholeheartedly meaning it, because it's one thing to say something, but if it doesn't align with how you truly feel, there's a disconnect there. And the frequency, the way I think, and the world is always going to sense that.
Uh-huh.
So I just truly, I wish them nothing but the best in anything any journey that they go on. It's just in a completely different lane than
So
my
let me
life.
ask you this: how did you get that out to them? So that okay, so you guys were friends for years,
Yeah.
years. So when did you say that? When? How? I mean, like, what made that come out of you to them to say, "Hey guys, I just wish you the best."
I never said it to them.
Okay, that's what I was.
I said it
Okay,
to
you
myself.
said it to
I said
yourself.
it to
Okay,
myself. Yeah. So I said it to myself to just really mean it, right?
to
Because
yourself.
I have no connection to these people anymore.
Okay.
You have zero connections or zero communication with any of them, and I'm happy that it's that way. It is, because I'm telling you, there's a reason why things happen,
Oh
and
yeah.
when you really believe in in life and in just how the world works,
Hmm.
you would stress less about people just leaving your life versus staying in it.
You know what? I got it. I'll be transparent here
Okay.
as well now, because I'm not that way. I'm not like that. Um, that bothers me. Was like, well, what did I do? And and then as younger, what did I do? We used to go here and go there. Now we don't. But now I think I have gotten much more mature to where it's like, I don't wish anything bad. I wish them the best of luck. I just, if they call me up, I'll talk to them and vice versa. Hey, just thought I'd check in on you, how you doing, that kind of
That's
stuff.
it.
It's okay.
That's it.
They can come and they can go. I have no bitterness. I
That's
have no bitter.
so okay. I'm a transparent moment.
Okay.
I didn't have that in the beginning of being open to, like, if they called
Mm-hmm.
me, like just being open to having conversation. I was shut off with,
Yeah.
if anyone that I disconnected from would try to reach out, I wasn't gonna engage.
Yeah.
But now
Mm-hmm.
it's not. It's completely different.
That's
You're right.
good.
I can
That's
have
good.
any conversation with anyone
Yeah.
because I know the path that I'm on. So a
Mm-hmm.
conversation doesn't change or shift
Mm-hmm.
that. But it's not easy to get there.
It's not. That's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, you're right.
Because when my encounters have been, wow, they just stopped talking. Okay, I'm gonna just stop
Yeah,
talking too.
yeah,
That's what I'm gonna do.
yeah,
I'm gonna say, hey, if
yeah.
they want to call
Because
me, they can call me.
it's so insane sometimes. Like when I was thinking about, like, my initial reaction to that disconnect of trying to place blame on the external person or people,
Hmm.
it's interesting because you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
Like, why do you feel? Why do we feel? Why did I feel like I'm the one that's going through something, but simultaneously you don't know what's actually happening in their world?
That's
Why do
true.
you assume your world is so not great, but theirs is?
Yeah.
The mind. You got to pay close attention to the thoughts and the things that go on in the mind. For
Hmm.
me, at least, I try to make sure, like, make this conscious effort to pay attention to the thoughts that I think, because, and then remember, everyone's human, and if I'm going through something, everyone else has a capacity of going through something,
Exactly.
and I don't place blame on
Yeah.
people. I don't, like, I make sure, like, I don't place any blame on anyone outside of me. I'm the common denominator in
Hmm.
all of it, so I take full accountability for all of it.
Now that's good that you can take full accountability, and it's also good that you cannot like have your mind worrying about what did I do, what you didn't do anything,
That's right. Yes. So why question in the first
so you
place?
don't.
It's one thing. The way our mind's wired. Well, let me speak for myself. My mind is wired is to try to search for fault.
That's
You know, and
everybody's
then what
looking.
happens is then you try to say, "Oh, they did this to me because of this." It's just not a good place to
Yeah.
be. But I've gotten to a place to now, if I interact with someone, and you can tell immediately if you are at any level connected with that person to either continue that friendship or kind of just
Yeah.
pivot.
Understand.
So,
Well,
but yeah, it's not easy, because what I realize is your old thoughts, your old ways, always try to find ways right back into your current reality. Believe it or not. And a friend of mine was just talking about this concept of when you let something go, if it's supposed to come back, it'll come back.
it will if it's supposed
But
to.
I had this idea of if I let something go, I don't want it to come back. I'm like literally, it's like if I let you go, I don't want that thing to come back. But I had to be fully open, like I say I am. You can't try to control. If something's trying to, like right now, if my phone's ringing, someone's calling me, there's a reason why they're calling. You don't know what that message is coming,
Exactly.
like what's coming in. But if you shut it off, you don't know what you just blocked off.
That's what I'm like, wait now, wait a
Yeah,
minute,
I knew
wait
you
a
were gonna go
minute,
there.
wait a minute. You gonna shut them out?
Yes.
Just how can you just shut them out?
Can't do that.
No, you can't do
Can't do
that.
that. No, I agree. Like, trust me. Like, I'm there now to where I know no one's shut out in my life.
Right. You might have thought it back then, but
I did initially when it was
has
fresh.
right, but as you have maybe put a little more thought into it,
Yeah.
you're thinking about, wow, no,
Yeah.
don't shut them out.
And then now too, I've made adjustments in, because I feel like in past friendships I gave more than I received, in like meaning
Wow.
like with love and care and what, there's no way to really measure that. Let me there's no way to measure that, but I felt that because when you treat people really
Well, no,
well,
yes, you can measure.
you
You
can
can
feel if
measure.
they're treating you well or not.
Exactly. And when I
Yeah.
say measure,
That's
when
what I
I
mean
when
by
I talk about measuring,
yeah.
I'm looking at, okay, who's always initiating this? Who's always initiating that?
Yeah.
If I'm the one that's continually doing all of that,
Yeah.
then I'm going to be tired of that all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to want to stop doing that.
Well, how do you know how they're looking at what you
It could be the
your
same thing.
influence?
They could
That's
be,
why it gets tricky.
that's why there should be a conversation. It's like, okay, hey, how you
Yeah, some people don't
doing?
have the capacity to have like these type of conversation. Like some people keep it simple,
And
social
others,
interactions, which is boring, and
yeah.
fun. You can have fun. It's okay to have fun and enjoy life, but sometimes I like to dig deep and just really just think about, because what happens in these type of conversations is you start to discover things that helps like really propel your human experience, for me at least. Like I really like right now in the moment that I am enjoying life at a level that I didn't think was possible
Oh,
a year ago.
wow.
Yes. Like there's a level of freedom that I live with and things that I say and how I interact with people day to day. And I can see it. It's so consistent that the person that I am behind closed doors is exactly who I am anywhere in the world.
How did you get there?
I don't know. I honestly can't even sit here and give you like an explanation. I just think I went through a lot of different, over the last year, I've been through a lot of tough situations, but I never quit. I always knew that there was something more for me just because I knew my heart. I knew the
Yeah.
type of man that I was. And I was like, okay, because you always hear people say, oh, the nice guys finish last, the good people always go, all these made up
Yeah.
nonsense that people
The
go and just
saying.
throw around, and everyone just wants to throw it around. You know what I mean? So, but for me, it was just like all some of these things that I learned and you hear it thrown around. I just thought to turn them upside down and be like, what? Where did this even come from? I dig deep, try to break things down to the subatomic level, and just go
Well,
as small as possible. Try to figure it out, and then you get to a conclusion like there's nothing there.
and it's I would hope that
Yeah,
both parties would come to that mutual agreement and understanding of
yeah,
like, well, our season our season's up, but we
We don't know. We
we
don't.
still care for you. We still love you. We still wish you the best. That kind of stuff. Sometimes people get very angry
Yeah.
and just want to cut it off, and just like, well, if you don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to you. And it's not like that. It's like life has changed some things over here.
Yeah.
And you maybe were there and able to work through that, and friendship and this and that at that time, but now I'm at another stage,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean you've done anything wrong or I've done anything wrong. It's just I'm at another stage.
And that's okay. But the thing is, I don't even think that there has to be like a conversation.
It does or doesn't?
It doesn't.
Okay.
We don't have to have a conversation just because if it's understood, it's understood. Like,
So who understands it though? You might understand it, but they may not understand.
But the thing is, I don't. But if I'm okay with myself,
Okay.
and I wish them well, like really genuinely wish them well, it doesn't matter if I have a conversation with you or not.
Okay.
Like you have that means you're doing well. You should feel just as good because because I have to figure it out.
Okay.
Like I had to go through the pain of like you distance yourself. I distance myself. You went through whatever process you went through. I had to go through mine to figure my things out. And we don't have to have a conversation to be like, we can if it happens organically.
Fine.
But for
But
me to
it's not-
force it,
Isn't yeah?
I
You're,
can't. I'm at a different place. But that's a great conversation around friendship. We can keep going on and on about this topic, but we want people to kind of chime in. Leave some comments. Like, let us know
Please.
what you think about this. Share some ideas of what you think about friendship. And we can interact with you. Thank you guys for listening.
You know what? And you know what? Not just friendship. Anything that we have talked about here at Full Circle Chat,
Okay.
let's hear from you.
Okay.
Let's hear from you.
I like
You know
that.
what? I want to know. I mean, it's always good to hear somebody else's opinion.
That's
Think
it.
outside the box.
That's right.
You hear a different perspective of things. Full Circle Chat is open.
It's a full circle. We like it. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll catch you next time.
That's right.
Thanks, Doc.
Bye.